Forces a jump with it this time, and they both stand shielding in the gun smoke, but eventually they both back off again. Pops him up with a bomb and finally gets an up air right there.
He was so dangerous, and if it connected, it was likely to stock. So many things can kill Trajan now at 160. Hello everyone and welcome back to the ECAC Elite Division. SSBU action about to get underway here. My name is Soy, alongside me is Kilo Miles, and Miles, we've got some fun playoff action headed our direction.
Oh, it looks like, I'm back. These teams have a chance to get up in the league, get up in a division. The winner of this between Penn State, Behrend, and Iona College, they go up to the Super Elite. They're there with the top dogs, and they fought long and hard to get there, so you do not want to fumble your chance now. You got to seal the deal. You got to win this game and book your ticket for the next semester.
Two of the top teams out of the Elite Series here. Iona, they went 6-1 in their round robin play, coming out as the #1 seed in Elite Group 2. They had a playoff victory not too long ago against Florida Atlantic, who snuck into the playoffs in the final week of the regular season. They 2-0'd that group to get to this point. On the flip side, Penn State Behrend, a little bit tougher of a draw, but they also went 6-1 in their group, #2 seeded out of Elite Group #4, and they beat NEIT 2-1 in that crew battle. So seemingly a very close matchup is what we're destined for here, but it's enticing to look at the lineups and the characters brought to the table by both of these squads.
Yeah, and we're going to get a first taste look because it looks like these gamers are already raring for Behrend up against Loft on the Mario. Set up.
Trollery, a stable name to the Penn State Behrend roster, has been here a while, a veteran player, and knows how to get the job done, but Lofts on the Mario has that explosive factor to them. If they can get the combo starter, love to use those fireballs to get in and break through the neutral, but Trollery having none of it right now, stuffing in these approaches more times than not, but falling up air could deal some damage away, but not too much landed afterwards, so relatively even here through the first about 40 seconds or so.
Only gets an up air off that first bell, but the second one, well, lightning might not strike twice the same place, but that bell does. I mean, come on, what? Forward smash into the bell, or into the hydrant, okay. So, Lofts is cooking a little bit, but you're gonna need a little more heat than that to take down Troller.
We'll need a lot more. 83% on Trollery, and Pac-Man certainly has that survivability with that long recovery that they have, so Lofts is really going to need to come up with something strong if they're going to try and find a way to take this stock. They continue to chip away at it with small hits of the fireball and the up air also connecting, projectile as well. Hydrant in their favor, but they get grabbed instead, so they aren't able to follow up. The apple nearly connected. Lofts gets the shield out in time. And it feels like Lofts is still trying to figure out the game plan of how to really get in on Trollery and connect something more than just a stray hit.
Yeah, Lofts has had a lot of great approaches, great defensive choices, but closing out this stock has been the key obstacle. Lofts has tried a lot of things to avoid getting their stock taken, but at the end of the day, Trollery is still the one who's holding on, barely survives that key right there, and now Lofts is trying to get this edge guard, but an up smash won't cut it. Trollery again hangs on. Pac-Man's a heavy lad right here, and he's probably gonna... Oh, only just barely made it back to the ledge, but still Trollery holds on, and that might be another stock.
He's got key in hand, Hydrant, but it does not work out there. The up B somehow fights through, but the key will snipe at the jump there, and some way, somehow, Lofts is down to their final stock, and Trollery holds on at 154, continues to follow up here off the combo. They will forward smash the Hydrant, but they'll get grabbed instead. Back throw won't kill at 150. Trollery continues to survive. Will have to recover low once more, and Lofts can't get the edge guard once more. Tough timing on that play, but still, Trollery continuing to hold on for dear life here, but still so much work been done. Eventually that forward air will find the shield, which means the up smash comes through and knocks a stock off the board.
Yeah, Trollery finally falls, and now my eyes turn to them, because it's very easy to play amazing when you're on a run, you're about to 3-stock them, but then that momentum gets killed, you gotta build it back up. So we'll see if Trollery is able to do that right here, finish their food, or if Lofts will be able to get another one, but right here, it's looking like Lofts is not really able to find any stable ground. Lands on the platform, goes for an up air, but again, they just keep getting counter hit every time they go in for a combo, avoid the bell, but then what? You get grabbed!
Trollery, it feels like they just know the pacing. They know exactly where to be and how long to hold shield for, but they get forward aired, low percent, but it still might be enough. No, that up B, such distance, such verticality on it to get back to that ledge. Trollery able to survive, but that was the window for Lofts to potentially work their way back into this game, and now all of a sudden, things look desperate for the Mario, and they will get clipped by the Hydrant on the way back up. Trollery shuts down Lofts in the opener.
And that hurts, because Trollery was playing amazing, but Lofts also wasn't making terrible defensive choices. Lofts caught on right away that Trollery was looking to catch their landings with the fruits, was landing with the cape a lot. You didn't really see a lot of that, but then Trollery stayed ahead. So, what, you're going to catch my landing, so I'm going to jump. Trollery got 2 kills off of jump reads with a fruit. It's all conditioning right there. It's the big brain game at the end of the day. You've got to be ready for the fact that just because you figured out your opponent's initial game plan, it's not going to stay the same the whole time. Lofts tried to stay in there, but Trollery just was so slippery, so survivable throughout that entire game that they weren't really able to bring it back.
The other thing about it, too, is that you think of Mario as a character with a lot of kill power, not just in the smash attacks, but a lot of those aerials are ways that you can take stocks off the board. And I think Trollery was very aware of that, knowing what could kill them in those scenarios, and just patiently holding shield a second longer or rolling away at the right time, just knowing how they could potentially drop their stock and making sure that they avoided those scenarios as much as possible helped Trollery stay alive. And now because of that, it's a full 2-stock lead for Penn State Behrend as Iona now get the chance to counterpick.
And this is where it gets a little tricky, because in most cases, I would say the Mario is a great pick into the Pac-Man, and Lofts was demonstrating a lot of the reasons why, but Trollery, oh my gosh. First of all, the jump reads, I gotta call it out. Just hitting raw keys in the middle of the air, it doesn't usually happen. And the bell into the bell, Trollery is amazing at forcing their opponents into panic situations, scrambles, and then having an option already there to cover whatever they're going to do out of the scramble. And Enrique the Pigeon, who's going to be coming in next, has to be painfully aware of that. It was the bane of Loft's existence, and now they got to deal with it on the Terry. 2 stocks on Trollery, 3 on Enrique. We'll see if Iona can bring it back.
Iona and Terry, a dangerous duo. Enrique the Pigeon, a newer player to this squad, but one that they have really put a lot of trust into. A lot of big performances from this Terry helped Iona secure that #1 seed out of group number 2 here. So we'll see how they fare against Trollery's Pac-Man as we go back to PS2. We've Good damage landed early here, 44% already. That kickflip is ill-advised, and all of a sudden it's forward airs galore, looking like Puff from Melee, and it will be enough. Enrique the Pigeon doesn't have the jump, which means that stock number 1 eviscerated.
And this is where it gets scary, because Enrique the Pigeon, you're like, oh, strong start. Now you have to be like, okay, anytime Enrique's not in center stage, they're in danger. Ooh. That right there, Trollery gets it up there, up the throw though, and I love that. Trollery knows when they don't have a combo, so they just shield and wait for Enrique to push a button, mess up, and then Trollery's defense options get him. Did I blink? There's 2 stocks gone, Soy!
The up B gets pineapple, they don't ride the ledge back up, and all of a sudden, you're right, 2 stocks off the board. And Trollery still holding their 2 from the start of this match, although it might be all for naught. There we go, jabbed into up B. That will confirm stock number 2 of Trollery off the board here. So 1 stock apiece, but still a full lead here for Penn State Behrend. And this is where things can get tricky here. Iona does not want to let this one really slip away. They don't want to drop 2 players this soon into the first crew battle of this best of 3. Trollery, you have eaten a lot of percent here, though, through this sequence. 102 and forced high here. Enrique the Pigeon doing a pretty solid job of making sure the Hydrant also never stays on the field for that long. We're still looking for that 1 killing hit.
Enrique goes around and then goes straight up for that clip kick. Guys are not gonna do it yet, but I'm liking the aggression right here. I would love to see more non-committal options, though. I'm seeing a lot of dash attacks, a lot of side Bs from Enrique. I want to see jabs, down tilts, something that's going to confirm into these big moves. Otherwise, you're opening yourself up to punishes from Trollery.
Oh, they just do raw up B out of nowhere, and that will catch Trollery, and that will be the end of the Pac-Man run. Iona knocked down the first member of Penn State Behrend.
Yeah, and now, okay, Penn State Behrend, they're down their first player. They're down that battering ram, and Iona, the bleeding isn't stopped, but they got like a CVS Band-Aid on it. So, like, now you can take a second to think. What can you do from here? Now, Enrique is going to have a scouting opportunity, if not the ability to take a few stocks. And I feel like Terry is not a terrible character to be on in this situation, because at the end of the day, you can really put some work in, put some damage in. I mean, you saw that 40% out the gate against Trollery, but Enrique has to hold on to that lead, and that might be hard because I see Aries coming in next.
Aries has been a very dangerous player, one of the anchors of this squad, very frequently has been held to that kind of 3rd place role, but here being bumped up in the lineup as they'll see if they can clean up the last stock of Enrique the Pigeon. But Aries, a very capable player, and I think it's going to be interesting to watch because something I think we've seen from Enrique a little bit and Aries over time here at the ECAC is that both are pretty adaptive. One thing I was noticing through that last match for Enrique was the number of times they were using the specials in the air, because Trollery was just spending so much time off the ground, whether it be through throwing out the hydrant or charging one of their many fruits. Either way, using things like the kickflip, like the down B to kind of change the angle and change the point of attack was what helped, I think, Enrique gain the edge in that matchup. Now we get to see Aries step into the ring. How do they deal with that adaptivity?
Aries is a player who's all over the place. I need some astrology people to tell me if that's like indicative of something, but I mean, we were doing some research before the game. I found one character. Soy has other characters in his notes. Then the Donkey Kong coming out, surprising both of us. So Aries clearly demonstrating some volatility, some improvisation in their character choices. And I'm always a little scared of players who play like that, because at the end of the day, they're either doing it because they don't know what to do, or they're doing it because they don't know what to do because they've already done everything else.
Yeah, and in a matchup like this, too, it's also a little scary to pick DK into Terry, right? The big body becomes combo food for a brawler like Terry that can quickly rack up damage, and you already see 84. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again, it just feels like some of these heavyweights in this game are built for taking stocks, and that's all Aries has to do to maintain Penn State Behrend's lead. They nearly have it off of that cargo throw up there. At 91% now is Enrique, but this is where things are dangerous. In the red, can they convert? Can they find that strong hit? 120 onto Aries, and they do grounded up B. That will get punished. Knocked off stage is the Donkey Kong. Aries will recover low here. Dash attack nearly connects, but it will be jab jab up B to knock down stock number 1.
Beautiful conversion right there. Exactly what I wanted to be seeing. And it gives me hope for later on in Enrique's performance. But with a mighty clap, Enrique's out of here. Aries is going to be putting Penn State in a very winnable position right now. 2 stocks remaining on that Donkey Kong. And now Iona's only got 1 player, 1 anchor remaining.
1 anchor remaining for Iona. We'll see who they opt to send in. It's very likely Pato, considering the roster that they've been fielding this season and the performance Pato has had at times throughout the year. Another player that I was potentially looking at, I believe, was J-Smooth no, it's Labando was the other player, because you look at the Penn State lineup, maybe the Nest can do some damage against some of the other characters on this squad, but very likely the captain about to step into the ring. And if it is Pato, we'll likely see Joker enter the field. It's a matchup that Penn State Behrend shouldn't be unfamiliar with, as they have Cray on their squad, who also mains Joker. But the differences between the two, it feels like very different styles are about to take place. So how familiar are Penn State, and specifically Aries, who holds 2 stocks, as we get ready for this next match?
Yeah, I am a little scared. I want to see Pato playing a lot like we saw Trollery playing, where they were not pushing, they were keeping advantage and never pushing it too far. Because we'd see Trollery hit an up air, drop down, immediately shield, wait for your opponent to pick an option. It's that kind of discipline to not chase after every car that drives by that you need to be seeing on characters like Joker, who have the ability to weave in and out, hold advantage, hold control of the stage. But if you ever commit, if you try to make these not quite true combos true every time, then you're going to get punished hard for it. So I want to see that discipline here from Pato as they try to take these 2 stocks from Aries and keep Iona in this.
3 stocks to 5, gotta give yourself a chance. That's the goal of Pato in this series. Can they do it? Aries on the DK right now with 2 stocks remaining. Guns downward will help into the combo here. Again, able to take advantage of the fact that DK is one of the largest characters in this game, so should be able to rack up a lot of damage off of these multi-hits. The guns also doing a lot of work here, and great use of that distance to rack up the damage, even though it doesn't do a ton. Over time, I mean, it's racked up a lot here, but at 130, now with Rage, DK, one of the scarier characters, but now here comes Arsene, and it's a battle of heavyweights, but the grounded up B will catch, and down goes stock number 1 of Pato.
And all that advantage, what's it worth? But now Enrique's getting the percentage racked up, going for the edge guard, and I love how they just linger in the air. Don't fast fall, stay up there, and throw out this back air, back air, back air, back air. There's no reason not to as Joker, but Aries is taking a page out of their book. Back air, up B, and now Enriquez has to try and cover with Arsene, get back on stage, and goes for more back airs, but Aries still holds on through the barrage, and I feel like the problem is Enriquez doing these back airs at the same tempo every time.
Oh, and the up tilt will kill too. With all that rage, they catch the very top, and that's all of a sudden 2 stocks gone. But there's the drag down. Those are the combos we're looking for as this match goes on. They get the drag down of the up air into the up smash, and another stock off of Aries. But it's 1 apiece here. It's Iona's last chance in this first crew battle. And look at the combo game here. Aries, knowing exactly when to pull away, does not want to get reversaled, has the lead and does not want to throw it away, wants to end this if he can. It is back and forth, but it is Aries knocked off stage here. Pressure on now. Donkey Kong in the corner, doesn't have too many options. Forward tilted off stage once more, but he can't get the guns to help him trip up that recovery. Instead, Arsene is out to play.
Boy, this recovery is very scary. One down is all they need, but goes right through the up B. The very thing that killed them on their first stock, and Pato has no fear whatsoever. Back air trades with back air. Aries has to recover, and then Pato goes low. Pato trying to recover right now, trying to force Aries into an uncomfortable situation, but they can't get the wobble. Instead, it's the grounded up B. Is that enough? No!
Ooh, he used that jump so early, and Aries was looking for it, but there's the back air, and that will actually do it outright. Aries unable to survive, and Pato keeps Iona's hopes alive in round 1.
Just barely. There were a couple DBZ moments where it looked like the clash was gonna go Aries' way, but Pato was able to maintain control, stick to their game plan of, well, they either have to land or jump at some point, and those backers are gonna hit one of those areas, because one full hop, you're just gonna see just swinging that sword right behind them repeatedly. And that's what I think eventually end up taking it from Aries.
It is a tough spot here now for Pato because they really struggled to take those stocks at points, and also dropping that first one so early. Aries with the grounded upbeat call out there, catching them just fading away off stage, was really a big turning point to take that stock off the board. All of a sudden you have the lead. It does come down to being a close match at the end, but Aries falls, Pato holds on to one stock, and now a very tall task ahead of them, because very likely Cray entering the ring, and Cray, a joker of their own, the Ditto, but down 2 stocks. That is a tough task for any player at this level.
It is, because you're going to try to trade, and they're going to always have the correct range for it. I'm seeing some interesting characters being hovered here, but at the end of the day, yeah, Pato, I talked about their safe and consistent game plan, Soy, but I want to see some variability, because full hop, back air at the same timing every time. When you're that predictable, you become a Dark Souls boss. A hard Dark Souls boss, but you're using the same frame data every time. People are going to learn to eye roll it. It's going to happen every time. Aries was definitely showing that, like, you're not going to back air all me. You got to put some variation. Throw in a fast fall or two. Make me guess. And eventually that guessing was what was Aries' undoing, but I would love to see some more of that as Pato gets into this last battle and into the future crew battles as well, because, I mean, check my math on this, but are the finals best of 5?
I believe semis, we're getting words, semis and the finals are best of 5, so a long series ahead of them, but they got to make it through here first. And again, a tough task ahead of them. Pato 1 stock remaining. The other thing too, I think Pato a little bit of a kind of momentum player in terms of the longer they play, you can start to see more of those combos come online, right? It feels like at the start, they were able to get some good damage early, but then being able to secure stocks off of the drag down up air. That's more of what we're kind of looking to see at those low percents to find those windows. Because you are right. If they don't mix up the timings, they'll get punished for it. Aries was able to survive because they figured out those timings. On the other hand, though, Pato, once you saw them gain the advantage, it just felt miserable for Aries to try and get out of it, even out of the corner. And you can also see moments too. For example, Pato dipping low, I believe, on 1 stock remaining and then losing Arsene on that recovery. He's probably going for a ledge trump there. But it's a question of, are the hands warm enough in that moment? We'll see how warm they are as Cray enters the ring for the Ditto.
All right. 3 stocks, 1 stock. How is Pato going to try to hold on here? I feel like you've got to play a very aggressive edge guarding game when you see Arsene come online. Because you know the timings, you experience them all the time. And if you're able to punish that Arsene whenever it comes out, you're going to make Cray think twice about taking any damage using any Rebels guards.
Gets the up B grapple. Not too many players able to sneak that one out, but You will get a little bit of extra damage, and now all of a sudden Arsene put in a lot of work here. Joker, a very good character at edge guarding themselves, but able to weave around it was Cray in that instance. And now a battle of Arsenes. But look at this, the first hit and the follow-up will rack up the damage. Back air gone. Arsene for Pato about to disappear, and he wanted the big swing off the back of it, but now the gun's downward. Can they intercept the recovery? Not this time around. Downer will actually knock them back onto stage at an odd angle, but both above 90% here, trending into the red. And Arsene about to disappear for Cray as well. Force a low recovery, guns intercept, but they will make it back.
Rebels guard dragged down, but Pato can't get the down smash. Instead, it's Cray with the reversal, going off stage, but an early recovery from Pato, using those iframes to get past. Now they're in center stage, looking for a down air, back air, anything that can. Tech chase doesn't go Cray's way, and now Pato gets an opportunity. Up air will finish the job. Pato's still in this.
Little bit of a scramble, but he finds a way out of it. But he is at 133, and Arsene about to disappear as well. Cray knows they need one strong hit, and it looks like they might find it from center stage, but the down air or down smash does not take the stock quite yet. Forward air will knock Pato back across the east side, but won't be able to recover here. They will be able to snap back to the ledge. The down smash again. These drag downs are opportunities, but they just can't find the strong hitbox afterwards. Nearly able to steal that stock away with the back airs. Neutral air will not be able to do so. Now another one, another edge guard attempt. Pato putting on the pressure here and putting on a clinic with these aerials, but still won't be able to take the stock. Gun into forward tilt won't connect either, and Pato surviving for as long as he can at 173. The hourglass hits 0 though, and the down tilt will kill. Set number 1 goes to Penn State Behrend.
Matrix-S moment at the end right there. Pato goes for some guns to try to stop them, Cray in their tracks. Cray, dash attacks, goes right underneath the gun, slides Neo mode right underneath, and gets that finisher right there. And that'll be Penn State Behrend with a very highs and lows type of opening right there. Because it felt like, okay, Trollery gets such a strong opening, Enrique's barely able to stop the bleeding. How are they going to come back from this? But then Enrique took a stock. Aries wasn't able to hold on as long against Pato, and at the end of the day, Penn State only won with 2 stocks. Now, that's not the best outcome, but it's also not the worst either. Iona could definitely make some magic here and get us some extra games.
Yeah, it could very well be, and I think when you look at the characters that we see, especially out of the Iona field here, the Mario, the Terry, the Joker, it feels like the biggest thing is that these are characters that have the potential for those highly explosive combos, not just 0 to 60s, but potentially, 60 to deaths if they get the right string of hits. There are ways for them to quickly eliminate stocks off the board, but Penn State Behrend in that first set never gave them the opportunity. We never saw the up air ladders from Lofts. The drag down combos at the end there for Pato never came to fruition. It feels like that's really the strategy right now for Penn State Behrend. The defense is the key in this series, because if they do slip up, if they do make the mistakes, all of a sudden their stocks will be quickly gone, which is what has happened against Iona more times than not. But now it's up to the Gales to try and adapt, as they are now down a set in this best of 3.
And now when you look towards how you're going to get that variation, I'm starting to wonder where you're going to find it. Because I don't think you want to open with Pato. Pato's definitely a very clutch player. So I'm honestly thinking you don't vary the player order that all. Like you said, the punish game is where it's going to be, pushing through that defense, but they are going to vary it. It's going to be Enrique coming out to answer Trollery. If you remember, Enrique had a very strong start against Trollery, and then Trollery kind of ran away with it. So we'll see if maybe, just maybe, Enrique can clean up that gameplay and get a strong start and keep it too.
Enrique on the Terry, Trollery on the Pac-Man. It was a lot of early damage dealt to the Pac-Man, but Enrique now in the corner here, getting nared off stage, will be able to make it back. That was one of the keys too. Trollery really stole an early stock from Enrique with the wall of forward airs stringing them together across the stage and off to the side. Because Terry's recovery is rather lackluster. They just did not have it in them to get back to that ledge, and I wonder if Trollery looks for another opportunity just like that. He'll get a back throw here. Enrique goes low, and the up B fights through the down air there. The timing was pixel perfect.
Okay, right through that hydrant, even percent, but this is where I worry, because where does Enrique find this kill? I feel like in theory Terry has more kill power, but fishing for something like that power geyser will be punished hard. Doesn't get the conversion off of that down tilt, and because of that, Trollery is back in it, back swinging. Goes in, gets the up air as well, stacking on percent, but now Trollery falling down at the down air, 153%. This is exactly what we see Trollery doing to other players. Enrique is holding on, and I love to see it. So this might be the end right here if this edge guard goes their way. It does not, and that means Enrique has an opportunity, but they shield the Bluster Wolf.
Huge opportunities for both there. Somehow Enrique gets out of that ledge trap situation and still doesn't come up with the kill, but he might find it here. This time you won't escape the Buster Wolf. Down goes Trollery's first stock. Enrique's might be soon to follow at 170, but he won't die to the key or hydrant quite yet. Apple will cover some space as well. Trollery looking for a way to tie this without dropping too much afterwards. Gets a forward throw, no kill throw from that position either. And here he will find a forward tilt off the roll from ledge. So Trollery unscathed on that second stock, able to tie things back up.
Ooh, and good use of the projectiles. I feel like Trollery always has the perfect amount of percent stacked onto the hydrant to get little bits of extension off of it, but now air dodge in. Enrique doesn't get punished for it, and I love how Enrique is playing so close to center, well aware of the fact that they lost a stock of 0 in crew battle 1, not able to grab them out of that power dunk. Enrique takes an early second stock. Trollery, who was a big part of Penn State Behrend's game plan last time, is on the verge of being taken down by Enrique.
Big opportunity here for Iona. Penn State does not want to give up these stocks so easily. 72% right now on Trollery. Rolls behind to get the hydrant damage. 76 to 72. The fight for center stage is on, but Trollery has not had too much time to charge up these fruits, and even the game plan of calling out jumps has gone awry for Trollery. Not as many opportunities. Enrique playing smarter around the outside of the stage. Won't be able to get rid of the hydrant quite yet. Gumby's on top of it. Bell catches as well. Can he get the follow-up? No. Just waiting to see what the option would be. And Power Guys are just barely unspaced and not able to connect quite yet. 123 onto Enrique. They go for Buster Wolf across, trying to catch the fade away, but not enough to track down the Pac-Man quite yet. But the hydrant will have them escape that jab combo. Apple connects, and Terry still survives.
Oh! Bounces the apple up off of the hydrant's water spout into Enrique. What a saucy little punish, and you better have a good punish here. Just a charge fork smash, nothing fancy, love to see it. Enrique takes down Trollery, which puts Penn State Behrend behind.
Iona grabbed their first lead of the day over Penn State Behrend. A one-stock lead, but a lead nonetheless. This one a lot closer between these two. No real early stocks given up by Enrique. The big factor, stock number 1, they live up to 170. They take that first stock. Stock number 2, they find a way to catch Trollery probably not DIing right. If you're going for a grab at the ledge there on that down B as it comes in, he's probably looking for a back throw and goes with the hit to fall in that second stock, and that's what gave them the lead, and they're able to hold on with that one stock lead now as we get ready for Penn State Behrend's counter pick.
Now, Penn State Behrend is a team that I feel has shown different clutch players every single crew battle. Like, there's never really a clear carry player, because I recall last time that, like, Trollery comes out, Trollery is the carry. Then all of a sudden, Ares is. Then all of a sudden, Cray is. At any point, any of them are capable of taking 5 to 6 stocks, and that is what worries me right here, because Trollery had their turn, Iona adapted, now who's up to the plate? My guess is that Ares drops the Donkey Kong and maybe goes to a Wario, maybe goes to a Ness. I think I've seen a Wolf from them before. A lot of different things in the pocket right there is Iona. Well, I remember saying this when Enrique was on one stock last time. Not a terrible place to be as Terry. A very explosive character. There is a very good chance that Enrique could do some real damage here.
Yeah, we'll have to see who Penn State opts to go with, and I agree. Right, it feels like Aries is probably going to be locked into that second place just because of the number of characters that they have at their disposal. They can play that counter pick game. On the flip side, Cray again. Yeah, I like what you said. It just feels like Penn State. They don't really rely on one anchor here or there. Everyone has filled that role at some point. I'm fairly certain in the fall, or maybe it was even last season, that Trollery was the anchor. Trollery was the guy at the end of the lineup that you were going to have to break if you were to beat this squad. But here he is leading off instead, and that puts Penn State Behrend in an odd place now that they have to try and find a way to fight from behind. We see that the Ness is locked in, which signals that Aries is stepping into the ring here for player number 2 for the side of Penn State. Can they shut Enrique the Pigeon for Iona, or can they extend the lead for the Gales? We're about to find out. Stage locked in, PS2, I believe. Let's get this match underway. Oh no, Hollow Bastion got picked instead. Apologies.
Interesting choice for me. I feel like Aries can get a lot of stage control here. Some platform extensions. But also, I don't know, I feel like this also does nullify a lot of Terry's strength. I was thinking of like maybe you wanted something with a little bit shorter sides, but Ness is going to get a lot of mileage off of the fact that Terry is not that hard to edge guard, and so Aries is going to be looking to play around that a lot more. Now Enrique doesn't have a big body to combo either, and even though you might be able to damage that shield, it is going to be Aries stacking up a lot of damage.
Just an odd distance game to be played between these two. Enrique able to burst through, get a good amount of damage. It's a matchup that Enrique should also be at least weary of, or at least practiced in, with Lobondo being another substitute on the Iona Gales roster. On that Ness, it's a matchup or hitbox that they should at least be aware of, and you can kind of see that in the way they're moving a little bit. 86% right now onto Aries. The forward tilt will knock away Terry after that down B. Again, just barely unable to catch Ness. And now a grab comes through, back throw off stage. Aries will have to hold that jump and use the aerial to get back. Strong hitbox at back air will knock Terry off stage. Enrique trying to make it back. They get upbeat back on and go now online. An opportunity, won't be able to find it, but how do you play around this kind of burst distance now that Buster Wolf can cover most of this platform?
I think the one advantage that Enrique is leveraging here a lot is the fact that Aries can't just hold otherwise that up will clip him just like it clips him there. After that jab, Enrique already repeating exactly what they did last time, taking some serious stoppage. 69% on them. No power dunk for you. Couldn't convert. One jab, that's all you need. Unfortunately, the back throw will do it, and Aries is able to sort of even things out, but not before Enrique was able to take that stock and keep Iona in the lead.
Once again, a very close game, but the edge, once again, this time around, goes in the Gales' favor. Enrique takes the stock, gains that advantage, so a one-stock lead as Iona will now decide who to send in next. But Aries able to even things back up with that back throw. But this is what I was talking about with that explosiveness, right? Terry, a character that can blow up stocks very, very quickly. And you saw that go online, 0%. And all of a sudden, 0 became 30, 30 became 60 off of that Buster Wolf. And that is the power of the Iona lineup. One mistake, one small mix-up, and you just ate 60% for it. And eventually, Aries able to get out of that situation thanks to the back throw at the ledge. But still, these are the windows of how Iona has won this season, and now they're starting to find the gaps in those opportunities.
And Iona, their impetus to counterpick right now, Joker and Mario. I feel like neither of those characters are someone you're like super excited to play in an S. But I feel like of the two, I would rather see a Mario. A lot of potential to mess with recovery with the Flood. I feel like Mario just has a faster recovery. I mean, specifically when you are not in tether mode, because the second you're in Arsene, Ares is going to stroll leisurely over to the ledge, hold up smash, and you are going to die. Every time. Until Arsene is gone, you will get edge guarded. So I feel like Mario with the potential to slip above the ledge, you have a frame 3 out of shield, fastest out of shield in the game, bar Game & Watch, on par with Game & Watch actually. So you're going to be able to punish a lot of this aggressive button pushing from Ares. I think Lofts would be a welcome sight for sore eyes if you are Iona.
Lofts also an interesting matchup in terms of the fact that we saw numerous times Lofts' game plan for breaking through neutral was to use their projectile to that advantage. Doesn't necessarily work as easily if Ares is locked in as that second player because of Ness's down B. The absorb heals back up. Now they can get punished afterward, but that's all about the spacing of Lofts in the first place. So an interesting matchup if that is locked in. Lofts has also played a couple different characters. The Mario has been the most frequent this season, but in previous seasons there was a lot of Roy, there was a lot of Falco thrown into the mix, so maybe that on the docket, but we see them locked in here. So here we go, a 1-stock lead for Iona. You see the Mario on screen, it's Lofts entering the ring. Can they continue to hold this lead for Iona, or will Ares battle it all back? A 1-stock lead as we go back to Hollow Bastion.
Hollow Bastion, Lofts is going to be holding this center platform like their life depends on it. Like it's the only door in the middle of the iceberg. You've got to stay in the center where you can get combo extensions, where you can get the potential for edge guard situations with a back throw. But it also opens up for Ares too. This is the problem. King of the hill.
Yeah, strung together so many up airs there to certainly get the damage onto Lofts up to 70%. They'll snap to the ledge here, and they're able to weave around. Remember, Lofts was also pretty adaptive late in that series. Didn't come to fruition against Trollery in set number 1, but that slower start starting to crumble away here. 120 right now, and Ares about to tie things back up. Lofts is able to snap back to the ledge though. That up B able to fight through. The back air doesn't connect. He finds a down tilt, but he's unable to get the up air off the back of it. And he jumps again. Remember, Lofts got called out a couple times by Trollery for those numerous jumps. Up B from ledge will get punished, and the lingering hitbox will do the trick. It's Ares to tie the game back up.
Lofts walks head first, stomping into Ares and doesn't get the grab, and now is forced back into a zoning game. But a whiffed up air is all that Ares needs to get some very scary setups going, but can't convert that edge guard. Goes for the cape out of hit stun. Ares is not perturbed. Gets the edge guard again. The cape delay does nothing for him. Pops up again. Lofts struggling to land, and just like that, it's even percent. And now as Ares tries to get the finisher right there, it is Lofts who is just lingering on ledge for a second.
Oh, drop the shield at the wrong moment. The yo-yo swings through, and that will be stock number 2 off the board of Lofts. He's looking for a way to even it back here with that forward air. The back air will actually knock Ares off stage. Flood will force them low, and the angle gets mixed up because of it. They can't snap back to the ledge, and we're back to a tie game, 0-0. But the pressure is on here, and Ares continues to land multi-hit after multi-hit. Look at the chase down. Lofts is starting to get aggressive. He's starting to find these windows. He's starting to read the defensive movement of Ares here, but it is still tantalizingly close. 46-43. Who will find that one combo opener?
goes for that option coverage, but Loft stays away, can't get the conversion even with the fireball landing, goes for the hard read on forward smash, gets around the spot dodge grab, and now it's Loft's going for that landing cape again. I feel like it's happened so often, and I don't know, Aries is starting to catch on, starting to get a little bit of a reward for it every time, as just run up grab, an opportunity, RAR back air, Aries pushed away from the ledge, doesn't get the forward air. Woo.
Aries is stuck off stage, flooded time and time again, didn't have the jump and he will air dodge back, had to make sure he didn't get caped, or that was surely the game. Now 127 to 73. Ness with Rage might be able to find something here, and they've got stage control, but there's just so many hitboxes being thrown out right now. Lost continues to throw out aerials, and he'll get the parry into up smash. Down goes Aries, and Lost holds the lead.
I don't even think that was a parry. Mario's up smash out of shield was just that fast, Soy. It's kind of ridiculous how fast that Italian can throw his forehead. I'm just saying. As now, well, this is the best situation Iona has been in a second. They have an opportunity. And when you look at a lot of these teams' records, it's a lot of 2-0s, 0-2s. You kind of win or you lose. If they're able to make it close here in the quarterfinals, that sets a very interesting precedent right here. However, still got to get through Cray. It's not going to be easy. Lofts, we'll see how they're able to hold on here. Otherwise, it will fall to Pato to clean up, but I don't know. I feel like there was some added adrenaline last time when Pato was in the 1v1, but in a clean 3-stock versus 3-stock against Cray, it's interesting how that could go. So Loft, you want to give your team the biggest advantage you possibly can.
Not going to be easy though, like you said. Cray entering the ring here, likely on the Joker. One stock of loss to deal with. It is interesting though, Cray from that first set, probably the player that got the least amount of time on screen there, the least amount of time, just because, hey, they only had one stock to deal with. So the question is, how warm are their hands as they get ready for this second crew battle? The last man to anchor of Penn State Behrend entering the ring. You see the red Joker on screen. It's Cray entering the ring, trying to seal this game out, trying to get to that last member of the Iona Gales, or will Lofts extend Iona's lead once more? We go back to PS2 for this bout.
Right, Cray, match point rests on your shoulders. You gotta be aware that if you give Iona a chance to struggle, they're not going to be too pleased about it, as throwing out the ECAC, Cray trying to play discipline, but air dodges right into the fireball, and I am scared because I've seen a lot more of Loft's combo game than I have of Cray's.
Also curious to see how much use that fireball gets, knowing that Rebel's Guard is an option to help quickly get Arsene onto the field of play, but like you said, Lofts is now kind of warmed up to the pace of play. They understand what they have to do, and they're starting to get aggressive too. Now you're starting to see the change up. Now back to that projectile game. Here's the combos. Back-to-back back airs. Cray forced way down low here. Parries as well, and they'll get the forward smash. It won't take the stock quite yet, but Cray should be able to make it back. Again, not able to quite connect, but the up smash nearly kills off the top, and now Arsene is gone. 132 onto Cray, and only 11 dealt to the stock of Lofts here. Fighting for center stage, back and forth they go, only finding shield, but the up smash is just too strong, and it knocks down stock number 1.
Lofts is going insane. I thought he was retired, but the prodigal son is out here and he's throwing hands. As right here, with the down guns, Cray is able to break that advantage for a moment, just a moment. The landing isn't safe because the up airs just keep coming, and every time they hit, it's minimum 15%. And you know Cray is going to look for more. Only 36% right now on this Mario.
This Mario's becoming a problem now. Look at the damage difference. Only 36 dealt to Lofts since Cray entered the ring, and they're up to 84 on their second stock, and Arsene is about to disappear as well, but they've done a lot of damage now, up to 85. Low recovery, the grapple able to sneak back, but still a dangerous spot. Neutral air to intercept, tried to get the cape once more, but not the second time around. Side B will help rack up the damage onto the Mario. Lost dancing back and forth around the center stage, jumping everywhere, but they will find a back air to knock Cray off stage once more. Reset for the edge guard. The up smash has done so much work, but it will only find air both times around. Another back air from center stage will knock Cray off, and these dash attacks, again, just barely off on the timing. Cray's got to be so careful. He got the drag down, but he does not get the up smash.
Loft playing at such a ridiculous tempo for someone who has been one hit from death for a minute, as Cray is holding on, going for a drag down, but Lofts knows it. They're not going to let it happen. He avoids the down guns. There's the back throw. No, it's just Lofts trying to stack up the damage, and they catch the jump with the down air. Lofts is poised to take this whole crew battle and put Iona on match point as well.
Difficult spot here. Losses at 122, but he would love to end this thing if he can. Look at that up there, racking up the damage. Arsene about to come online in any moment now. 50% already onto Cray, but you can see the combo starters are so dangerous. They've gone for these forward airs, and they nearly found another one. Counter will knock Lofts away. 74% air dodging around here. Arsene in threat of disappearing. The jabs intercept that smash attack as well. Lofts surviving by not playing defense, but he will get countered. And even though it's all the way across the stage, it's still enough to knock down Lofts. Cray survives.
Cray stopping that was insane, because Lofts was coming at him like a freight train. Do you see at the end right there? Lofts did a little backflip over the EHA and then ran straight in, dash attacked under the guns, caught them, and then got a down tilt to... I don't even know. Lofts was playing insane, but Cray knew when the scramble was happening and knew, okay, hold on. I'm losing because Lofts is pushing more buttons than me. Let's make Lofts not push buttons anymore. How'd that happen? Counter. Counter. If it didn't work once, do it a second time. It might just work that time, and it did at the very end right there, because you know every Mario main on the planet sees an opportunity for forward air, they're gonna do it. And that was Lofts' downfall.
Still a lot of momentum headed Iona's way, and now we get to see the reverse situation of what we saw from game number 1. It was a 3-1 stock lead when Cray entered. They only needed to take 1 stock off of Pato. Pato locked in here as that third member of Iona. This time around, they have the 3-1 stock lead. Now Cray, the question is, can they do what Pato could not in the previous series? Otherwise, Iona will push us to game 3. But now, after the play of Lofts, you got to feel like Iona, they're all in that room. They're cheering, celebrating. What a performance from Lofts to rejuvenate this squad and get them back into the series.
And now Iona is looking a lot scarier than they were game 1. The fact that Enrique took 4 stocks, Lofts took also 4 stocks, and then we see Pato, who we called the anchor. We called Mr. Consistent. This is looking like, unless Penn State pulls something out of their hat, unless Trollery pulls out another big performance, this is looking like a lot more of a winnable game. And Pato went Ken.
I'll be honest, I did not know Pato had a Ken in their kits, but we get to see it here in an interesting spot. Playoff implications on the line here. If they lose this one, get 3 stock or reverse 3 stock, they are out. It is over. Penn State will advance. So they put it all on the back of this street fighter.
Okay. Pato gonna be playing very close to the ground, looking for opportunities to get just one jab. That's all you need. Cancels down smash into the side B, but even that little conversion is not enough, 75%, but they can follow up on the tech chase instead. It will be Pato who's put off stage. Cray tries to knock him up, knock him out, and they do get the kill up the top. Cray already up a stock.
Cray up a stock. 75% is a lot when you're trying to deal with 3 stocks, but it is still manageable here. Pato getting their stock chipped away at, hanging out underneath these platforms, does not want to take all that much damage from the guns or the side B, wants to see the game plan coming in front of it, but the up B gets countered. The Rebels guard racking up the meter now for Arsene, but that whiff will be punished the second time around. Can't always throw out down B, and Pato will push us to set number 3.
1-1 between Iona and Penn State Behrend, and very well earned at that. Ironically, I was talking about how good Iona looked, but it's the same scoreline. 2 stocks remaining from Iona, just as it was 2 stocks remaining from Penn State Behrend. This is anyone's game, Soy. This is anyone's game right here. And, I mean, if the scales tip the other way, it's Penn State Behrend. You would think that, like, oh, now it's their turn to adapt. But I don't know. Iona was playing with fire at the end right there. Lofts especially was really playing with fire. And I feel like if you're able to keep that energy, Penn State Behrend might be in the dust. However, it's very hard to keep momentum in a crew battle. It's not like you can just keep running through the bracket. You've got to stay warmed up. You've got to stay focused. And that adrenaline, it's a biological response. It will begin to fade. You've got to start relying on something else if you want to keep yourself going through a whole series.
Especially because now that we enter set number 3, as you've mentioned in the past, a lot of times in these best of 3 crew battles, it's usually 2-0s and 0-2s. We don't see too many set 3s even at this level. The adaptivity coming into play here means that we get to really see a test of who has the stamina for a matchup like this, who has it in them to outlast their opponent. It is not going to be easy. We've seen adaptivity from Iona here. We'll see if Penn State Behrend can come up with a different game plan. But I harken back to something I mentioned at the end of that previous series, which was the explosiveness of Iona's lineup. They found their windows this game. They found their footing. You saw the momentum change because of it. And that momentum, as you mentioned, it's a scary thing, especially in the playoffs. One hot hand can win you a game, and now that's all either of these teams need to advance to the next round of the playoffs.
One hot hand. That's what's scary. Because you know right here, every player has lived up to their, I don't want to say potential, like they've obviously always got room to grow, but like right here, right now, they've played the hottest that they're probably going to play all night. And then if you lose, you know, if I was just playing like I was 10 minutes ago, we'd have won. We would be 3 stocks ahead. We'd be 4 stocks ahead. Instead, I'm playing like I was 40 minutes ago, and that's not good. That's what's scary, because you don't want to burn out. You don't want to lose that little edge you had. And now, as we're seeing a rerun of what happened last time, Enrique the Pigeon taking on Trollery, I find myself a tiny little bit scared. Trollery needs to demonstrate that they can overcome this overwhelming force that seemingly came out of nowhere that is Enrique if Penn State Behrend wants to stay in this.
Game number 3, or series number 3 of this best of 3 crew battle about to be underway. And like you said, the rematch from round 2 about to start. Trollery versus Enrique. And the winner of these crew battles is on to the next round. Enrique, in that previous matchup against Trollery, they've caught them out a couple of times, be it in the air with some specials, or in that previous match, they did a very good job of not allowing Trollery much time to set up their combos. But now Trollery is the one finding the combo game. 73, make that 108, and this Pac-Man has yet to be scratched.
But Trollery's not doing too okay. 50% on the board, and now you're in an edge trap situation. We're able to cover key in hand, drops down the hydrant, and at this point any of those big fruits will kill, and the bell regrab, you know that's Trollery's bread and butter. But Enrique's doing a much better job interacting with the hydrant than we saw last time. It's not being Trollery's win condition like we saw before, but Yank thrown off stage. Now another ledge trap situation. Avoids it though with the air dodge on stage, and now bouncing right back in using Pac-Man's own trampoline. Trollery maintains control, but Enrique is not giving up this stock.
It's at least 2 different ways that Enrique has found a way around that difficult ledge scenario. They will fall eventually to the hydrant, bouncing around, they downbeat into it, and now the combo game. Again, another chance here for Trollery to rack up the damage. 46 dealt off that one combo. Kickflip in will help deal some damage to Trollery, but it's only 80% here. Enrique is going to need something more. Hanging out underneath this platform, but they don't quite get rid of the hydrant this time around. The landing aerial gets grabbed as well. Trollery is scouting some of these landings. Maybe an opportunity for them to use their own projectile against them, but only one hit. will only do a little bit of damage here. Wow, so many hitboxes there, and it will eventually fight through into Trollery to do some damage. But now with both players in the red, we're at the turning point of this first game.
Burning Knuckle has led to this disadvantage, and it might just be the thing to get Enrique out of it as they're trying to close the distance, but Power Dunk gets the grab. Trollery's going for the edge guard, but you gotta be wary of those tippy toes. Terry is so hard to deal with when you're doing the input recovery, and now Bell lands, goes in for the grab, can't get it, and now with this counter hit, Enrique is off stage again.
Good weave around there. That hydrant was surely to connect. They're able to snap to the ledge, the upbeat, the distance. Enrique knows it perfectly, but he gets back aired here as well. He's all the way up to 160. He's doing a good job of surviving, but he somehow cannot find this kill. Speaking of, Bell connects and they don't get the stock. Eventually, that down B will kill Trollery. Off the top they go. And the apple bouncing on the platform catches Enrique jumping at center stage. It's a 2-1 stock lead for Penn State Behrend.
Enrique getting some conversions, but it's not over yet. His Troller is trying to play elusive, but they're so aware that a single jab will be 60%, 90% dead. And so Troller plays up high, where Enrique has to commit to an uppie if they want to burst him down. And Enrique is going for power dunks, but it's not high enough. Trollery staying well and away from danger, but finally Enrique gets in. Can they get a finisher here? No! The jump air dodge back onto stage. The level 9 CPU special, and Trollery stays in this.
Down tilt at the ledge will knock Trollery off as well. Not much Enrique can do about it though. Go online, Buster Wolf up high, and they are done for. Stock number 2 off the board. It's a 1 stock game yet again, but Go is online for Enrique. Look at all the damage they're racking up. 43 off of that one interaction. Power Geyser doesn't land here. The Bell threatening as well as the Hydrant, but neither one connecting here. Trollery does not want to give up a 3-1 stock lead that they had. The down B will fight through. Trollery's done a very good job throughout this game of catching Enrique's landings, especially on moves like the down B. But the kickflip in is a mix-up, a different spacing, and they do die off the top to Power Geyser and the blue into the sky. Enrique steals game 1.
What a comeback as Enrique makes the same magic happen that we saw in game 2, but not nearly the same arc. I mean, if you just look at the storyline, it's like, oh, Enrique beat Trollery 2-1 again. Oh, that's pretty simple. But no, that was fantastic stuff right there. The fact that Enrique was able to bring that back, leverage Go, and catch Trollery where they least expected it. I talked the entire middle of that game about Trollery was playing up in the air, floating above, where Enrique didn't have the burst to reach them. As soon as Enrique was above 100%, the burst came online in the form of that Power Geyser, which took the stock when Trollery was trying to set up the fire hydrant. Amazing awareness, holding on, and now Enrique puts Iona in a very good position.
Power Geyser had not hit the entirety of this series. That was the first time it connected onto the opponent. And it killed at, what, 60-something? They weren't at 70 quite yet, but in that 10% window, they catch Trollery up high, and it takes the stock and takes away the first member of Penn State Behrend. But we see the nest locked in for round number 2, which tells us Aries is stepping back into the ring, trying to tie things back up. But whoever has grabbed this early stock, or at least grabbed game number 1, has held on to win the series. Aries trying to rewrite that storyline here. We go back to PS2.
It all starts with not dropping this stock to Enrique that you did in game 2. Enrique did not make it easy to not drop the stock, but ultimately you get jabbed one too many times. I mean, if you get jabbed 3 times by Terry, you should lose your stock. And Enrique has been definitely demonstrating that here. Very good awareness when to use that up B as the burst. But this is Aries' opportunity. They can't really get anything big so far, though.
Ooh, turned around the grab, and that was the opportunity for Aries to potentially catch Enrique in a difficult spot. and that means Enrique gets to survive again. They didn't live as long last time they played against Ares, but it was still well above 100. Speaking of, go online now. Downbeat will actually spike Ares back and forth across the stage. 105 to 107 here, and you love the kill power of Terry. Power Geyser's now 2 for 2 on taking stocks, and Ares drops that one.
And now, Power Geyser in, Go is online, could combo off of it, but here they go, putting on some good pressure. Up air, though, interrupts the momentum, and if that's the stock, Ares is going to be mighty happy about it, but no, it's Enrique back on stage. Can they get more? Is there more gas in the tank? It looks like it might be, Soy.
Power Geyser nearly connected again, but the air dodge around was perfect, and Ares escapes with a forward tilt KO, and down goes the first member of Iona.
Ooh. I am a little bit hesitant to be happy for Iona because they are in the exact same spot they were where they won. But a lot of that was off of Lofts having an amazing performance right here. A performance that's going to be very difficult to replicate. I'm a little bit hesitant about putting Lofts in right here. I feel like it's not a bad pick. Not a bad matchup. Like I was talking about last time, a lot of opportunities to mess with the recovery, a lot of opportunities to get big combos. But Lofts right now who needs to prove to me that they can bring back that fire, that hot hand that you were talking about, because otherwise this is going to be difficult for Iona if Lofts goes down and it falls to Pato to clean things up, because that's exactly what we saw in the game one, and you don't want to be repeating history. You want to keep things on your timeline.
And remember, too, in that previous series, while Lofts did take a ton of stocks, they had a 3-2 lead on Ares, and Ares very quickly made it a tie game in terms of stock counts. I think it was about 130 to 20 by the time that stock comes off the board. And so this is a very close matchup. There was a lot that didn't work initially for Lofts on the Mario, which is why we are now seeing the switch here to the DLC. Pyramithra making its first appearance in this series.
Lofts going in, trying to leverage the range here against this Ness, and this is where I am a little scared. Aegis is kind of a swingy character, but, well, if you're gonna keep it swinging your way, keep the swings Ares way minimal at best, then maybe Lofts can make this happen. Dash attacks right back in after avoiding that, and ooh, I'm loving this opportunity right here. Goes over to the Pyra already, down air, up smash. You know, you see so many people go for that, Soy, and so many people don't land it. But Lofts, well, we talked about their consistency before, and it doesn't feel like Ares is ready for this tempo.
They've warmed up and they're ready. We talked about it. The swingy characters, Pyra and Mithra, and the way Lofts was swinging earlier fits their style perfectly. And in a matchup like this, Ness traditionally struggles against Sword. It's a tough matchup for Ares to now try and overcome, and they've got to find something, some momentum back here to stem the bleeding. 106 right now onto Lofts, but they've got all the control, and they are out for blood, swinging with the Pyra. Now back to Mithra here. They air dodge around. Down smash will knock Ares away again, and now back to Pyra. Look for a stock here. 86% is kill range for Pyra, especially onto Ness. They're looking for the KO, but they'll find a side B instead, knocking Ness off stage. Ares tries to get back with the up air, and it is ill-advised. Up B will kill, and it's a 3-stock lead for the Iona Gales.
Iona on the precipice, the biggest lead they've ever had right here, and now they've just got to bring it all home. Run through Cray, and you have your ticket to the semifinals. Now, Cray's no pushover, but this is a magnificent adaptation, specifically from Lofts, that I want to call out right here. Because if you look at Ares' playstyle, there's one thing Ares wants to do more than anything in the world, and that's hit you until you die. And Ares would do anything to get that hit. Go off stage, drop through platforms, go right on top of you with aerials over and over again. Ares was the aggressive one, and Lofts called it out hard here as They showed remarkable awareness, remarkable adaptation, calling out every drop-through platform, calling out every jump, as now Cray has to deal with this warmed-up Aegis who he's never fought before. Can he do it, Soy? Time will tell.
Joker versus Pyramithra, although very frequent characters, I feel like we never really get to see them against each other at this level. So I'm interested to see how this one paces out here. Cray needs to find a way to not only take all three of these stocks, but he then needs to shut down the third and final member of Iona afterwards. Got to give yourself a chance here. One player at a time, one stock at a time here. But it is a long road back now for Penn State Behrend. Iona trying to lock this game up here. And now we get to see if Lofts can continue their pop-off game here from set number 2 into set number 3. Iona versus Penn State Behrend. Cray, the last hope for Penn State, goes to small battlefield.
And Cray getting right into it. No taunt for you, my friend. It is straight to the action. Nair will be the opening move, just getting a little bit of damage, but neither of these characters have the biggest extensions. It's all about holding advantage state, holding control of neutral, and that's what Lost is going to be trying to do right here with all of these juggle situations, forcing 50-50s, and now they're all ready to the Pyra.
Such a fast-paced matchup here, and already so much damage racked onto Cray. Lost now holds center stage, but they whiff on the forward smash, and now with Arsene online, Cray might find an opportunity. Clanking there to down air, ever threatening, and the space that Pyra covers just so damaging for Cray. Can't easily get in here. They'll do some damage with guns, but they will be punished by the splash hitbox of that up B. So much range here. Cray gotta be careful now, holding onto that platform, but they will die to the up B again. It's Lofts coming through in the clutch.
The longest up B connect I've ever seen, and Lofts is going in for even more conversions. Lofts loves running off platforms with an aerial. I mean, if there's a signature move, it's gotta be that. Lofts has extended so many combos with that diagonal burst of movement, it's insane. As they just did it right there to pressure the shield safely, and they've gotten an opening off of it too. Cray is getting hits here or there, but Lofts is showing amazing momentum. This is Iona's game to win.
Arsene online here. Maybe they can find a way to answer back, but they get down air to the up smash, and Arsene is gone. They died at 50 to that down air up smash. Lofts sitting at 103, and the Gales are looking mighty fine at this point right now. Cray, though, will find the drag down into the forward smash, so another stock off the board, but he needs so much more here, and Lofts already has stage control.
Ooh, Lofts putting in some serious damage. 45%, the full Aegis combo, and they get the dash check too. Another edge guard situation. Tries to extend their hitbox, but forward smash, an opportunity for an edge guard right here on the Mithra, but they up behind. Cray covers the remarkable awareness.
The back air was also good. Oh, but they get caught here, and they nearly die at the bottom. Good reaction, but now things get scary here. Cray has the momentum, but he knows that one mistake could likely mean his stock and the end of the playoff run for Penn State. He gets grabbed instead. Pyra with Rage can also kill Cray here. This is where things get dangerous around the ledge once more. The neutral bees have not landed here for Lofts, but he's trying to mix up the pacing just a little bit. Now another grab, forward throw off stage. Cray, what a Rebels guard to survive. That was everything. That was the stock. And speaking of, there it is. The down smash at the ledge will catch, and Lofts will send Iona to the next round of the postseason.
2-1 victory for Iona over Penn State Behrend, and off the back of all of their players stepping up. I mean, they couldn't have done it without Pato coming in clutch at the end right there, but Lofts, I mean, going from game 1 to their performance in 2 and 3, fantastic stuff. And then Enrique becoming a veritable threat, taking down Trollery twice. The player who ran through and took 5 stocks the first game. Every single one of Iona's players pulled their weight, made that win possible, and that is why they're going to the semifinals.
What a close and fun series this was, but it is Iona coming out on top. And like you said, every single player for the Gales in key moments stepping up to the plate. And Iona take down Penn State. They will now play the winner of LIU versus GWU. That's Long Island versus George Washington. So we'll await the results of that match. But congratulations to both these schools for reaching this point, and congratulations to Iona for getting the win here. I believe we're setting up an interview with one of the members of Iona as we speak, so we'll cut to a break to get that all good and ready. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more SSBU action.
Welcome back, everybody, to the ECAC. Here after the quarterfinals, Iona got a spectacular victory, and we're here with Lofts to tell us all about it. Lofts, how you doing after that win?
I'm doing pretty good. At the beginning, we felt like we were unsure if we were gonna win this. Definitely thanks to the Pac-Man because he was giving me so much trouble and the others. But overall, I think we did pretty good, and we definitely came back from that.
Yeah, and I do have to ask. So after that first group battle, you went down. Trollery
Yeah.
went on a run. What was the change in the team's mentality? Because like even Enrique the Pigeon did not do so well against Trollery in that first set. Like, what was the mental turnaround to give you all the advantage going forward?
I think when I went in during the first set, I was having trouble, and we talked, and we're like, okay, maybe Enrique does well against Pac-Man, so we felt more confident sending him in first after we saw how after the first game went, especially since he went in first again. So we felt we had a lot more confidence going from there, and of course Terry has his cheese, so that happened. But we'll take it. We'll take the cheese.
So for you specifically in this series, you had a big turning point in that second set with the Mario, and then the switch up in round 3 to go back to Pyramithra. We've mentioned it a couple times. You're one of the more experienced players here at the collegiate level. You've gone through a couple different characters. How'd you end up settling on Mario for this series, and then eventually the Pyramithra at the end?
The Mario has been with me for years. And now I've grown into that, and it's felt a lot more comfortable now. And the Aegis I picked up about last year, and I've been working on it for a while. I am picking up another character, but it's a pocket character. But I've been putting a lot of work on those two, especially since the Mario does really good against a lot of other matchups, but he struggles with disjoints, and that's where the Aegis fills in. So like matchups like Game & Watch and Cloud, and I say even like Bayonetta or characters like that, Aegis really excels there, while Mario doesn't. And especially me personally, I don't excel with those matchups with Mario. They give me a lot of problems.
Yeah, and that is completely understandable. And I was wondering about that switch up, but now looking forward.
Yeah.
Like, how are you feeling about the rest of these playoffs? Because like they're teams you've run into before, but also it's a different game here in the playoffs.
Yeah, the playoffs definitely give us a bit more pressure when going into the games, because like one game and we're out and we're done. So we definitely want to see how far we can get, because in the CECC last chance qualifiers, we weren't too sure how far we would get because we saw those schools were like definitely way stronger than us. So I think going right now, our mindset is like, okay, these schools could be a lot better than us. So we have to put our best foot forward. And that's pretty much how we're going through this for the rest of the season.
You guys looked strong in this one, and now you get the winner of LIU versus George Washington. And if you advance through that one, you get to the opportunity to be promoted to the Super Elite League. That chance is something that's very difficult considering how many schools are partaking here at ECAC. So I guess, is that the goal for you guys, to reach that upper echelon? What was comparing? I guess
definitely.
From the I'll rephrase my question, but yeah,
Sure.
because it feels like duh. But
it's okay.
From the start of the year, to this point, is this kind of how you imagined this journey being like, or was this always the goal to reach this point?
I'm not sure. I mean, when we played in the MAC League, we definitely saw that we were one of the higher up schools, and now going into this league and seeing a lot of schools being really strong, I think we are now, or can be, a contention for one of those super elite schools, and I'm definitely excited to see how the future comes out.
I mean, we both are as well. If this performance was anything to indicate, I think you all have a very bright future ahead of you. So I wish you and the rest of Iona luck, and once again, congrats on your win.
Thank you so much. We're excited for the future, and we're ready. We're locked in. We're definitely locked in.
No, we can tell you're locked in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, thank you so much, Lofts, for your time.
No problem.
And take care.
Have a good night, you guys.
And with that, we are going to be wrapping up. Thank you all for watching tonight. But you got to remember, this is Esports U. We got esports all week long. Tomorrow, 8 p.m., it's ECAC Valorant quarterfinals. Columbia College versus Fisher College. And it's Seymour and Vincent on the mic, so you better be there watching. But for now, I've been Keelan Miles. This has been Soy, and I hope you all have a fantastic night. Take it easy out there.